I want to start by saying that on the two items, the first items, the challenges of implementation, and number two, gender balance legislation and policy strategies. You will recall that in Kenya, we have a very big challenge in implementing the two-thirds gender rule. It's difficult. We have tried in Kenya, it has become an issue, and we believe as Kenyans that our constitution, which is supposed to be one of the best in the continent, we made a mistake in putting this issue in our constitution. Two-thirds. We have been unable to implement because it was a blind legislation. It never consulted the people of Kenya. And now it is very difficult to get this two-thirds. And we believe that our country is progressing well. We have 47 women elected in the counties, and still we cannot achieve that threshold. So that is one area which we believe that we made a mistake, and it is not implementable. And we'll have to go back to the drawing board and see whether we can change the constitution so that we can be able to move on. On the issue of limited awareness, I don't think we have this issue in Kenya. We believe that 90% of our people are aware. There's a lot of discussions in our country, social media, in the radio, in the newspapers, even in the villages, people are discussing. We have even in the local radios, FMs, people discussing about issues of gender. So we believe that 90% of our people are aware about these issues. And we believe that it's not an issue now, the issue of limited awareness. Inadequate funding, I think, for us in Kenya, we don't have that issue because Parliament allocates resources to all, irrespective of the gender issues. So we believe that this issue of lack of awareness is no longer an issue. And the policymakers in our country, they have no option but to implement what the government has said. And I can assure you, my colleagues, that in Kenya now, what we have progressed a lot is on the issue of appointments. We have women across the board who are now being appointed to different positions. And once they are appointed, there is no other issue. I cannot say we have enough money, but at least there is fair distribution of resources in our country to all the stakeholders. On the issue of cultural barriers, yes, we have these cultural barriers. But I think nowadays it is not an issue. 70% of our country, in terms of culture, people have really changed. And we are very happy that we are moving in the right direction. We are positive that culture is now not an issue. And you see the issue of education, which you have in our country, universal education. Education is everybody now has gone to school. It's a must that we have children in school. That every person in our country must have education. And this is something which is now an issue. It's a policy for the country. We have got what we call 100% transition. That we must have children who are transiting from primary to secondary school, 100%. From secondary to university, we also have almost 90%. Except we are now having people who are now going to TVET schools. So what has broken this barrier is education. And we have to believe that the more we have, if we can have 100% of our Kenyans getting education, then we are safe. We can have everybody on board. The last one is absence of monitoring mechanisms. No, we don't have barriers. There's no absence. We have everything in place that we monitor education from primary, from actual ECD to primary to secondary, 100%. Literacy rate is very high in our country. People are now have gone to school, and we want to say we are proud that our government has been able to achieve this. Because once you can get 90% of the population getting educated, we don't have other problems. So I want to say that we have less problems. Monitoring is very easy because we have Parliament as an oversight. We do oversight as Parliament. In terms of education, we have Parliament. In terms of even gender, we have a committee which is dealing with gender issues in Parliament, and therefore evaluation mechanisms are in place. And therefore, I can say that Kenya is done fairly well. We can tell ourselves that we have done well.